Okay, welcome to a new episode of Nate's MMA Corner. I'm Nate, and if you watch my show, as always, you're in my corner. Today's a doubleheader episode. It's a post-fight recap episode of UFC Fight Night, Jack Hermansson versus Jared Cannonier, and also some late-breaking news as of today regarding two former UFC heavyweight champs. Yeah. Let's get started. So I'll do a quick rundown here. So in the main event, in the middleweight division, we had Jared Cannonier versus Jack Hermansson, two top 10 UFC middleweights, and Jared Cannonier got it done. Second round TKO punches knockout. Good big win for Jared. I think he's like maybe one or two matches away from a middleweight title shot. I'll say two for sure. Like, I mean, if he wins his next two, you got to give him a title shot at that point. Yeah, because this is a big win. Yeah, Jared Cannonier is a real deal. Heavy hands, good wrestling, defense, and good, just good all around. Then in the lightweight division, we had Monson versus Danilo Bilardo, and this one was pretty impressive. It was round one TKO punches win for Madsen. He just dominated from the word go, and I think this guy has potential to, at the very least, have a good career in the UFC. Anything past that, I don't want to say too much too soon, but we'll see. Only time will tell, but so far so good. Then in the welterweight division, we had Gilbert versus Gunnar Nelson, and this was unanimous decision. I believe I had rounds 1 and 3 for Burns, and then rounds 2 for Nelson, I believe it was. And yeah, if Nelson just really pushed the pace in the third round, maybe he could have won a decision here. But I think the judges got it right. It's definitely 2 rounds to 1 for Gilbert Burns. I think the takedowns and just the dominant positions got it for Gilbert Burns, as well as I believe he landed a bit more strikes as well. Then in the light heavyweight division, we had Ian Cutelaba versus Khalil Roundtree Jr. Ian won round 1 TKO elbows. Good big win over UFC veteran in Khalil Roundtree, so this definitely elevates his status in the light heavyweight division, and I could see this guy definitely fighting top 15 competition, more so in his next fight. Then, and also the light heavyweight division, had OSP, former UFC interim title challenger, against John Jones versus Miguel anyways, submission Von Flue choke for OSP round 2. Yeah, this is umpteenth Von Flue choke for OSP. He's looking pretty good, and he's really doing his thing in the light heavyweight division. And I say, you know, about 3 more wins for him, and he'll definitely be in title talks again. Fighting for UFC gold again. I mean, he definitely lasted quite a bit against John Jones in his title fight against John Jones. So yeah, this guy has potential still, even though he's been in the game for ever since way back in the Strikeforce days. But yeah, this guy has definitely proven himself over the years, and he can always bounce back from a loss, and or go on a win streak or whatever the case is. But yeah, OSP definitely looked good in this fight. Very impressed with his Von Flue choke in this one. Then in the welterweight division, we had Nicolas Dalby versus Alex Oliveira. Now this one took me by surprise because, you know, it's one of those things where I want to see Nicolas Dalby back in the UFC, and I got my wish. When they put him up against Cowboy Oliveira, I was like, whoa, this is going to be maybe too soon for him. And then Nicolas Dalby showed heart, will, and determination to get it done. And yeah, he won 29-28 unanimous decision. I can say that he for sure won a couple of those rounds. Man, I want to say it's like 1 and 3 or 2 and 3. But yeah, he definitely looked good, or it might have been 1 and 2. I don't know. But anyways, Good win for Nicolas Dalby. Glad to see him back in the UFC. I think you know, this guy just gets it all together. You know, he can definitely be a guy fighting and fighting top 15 opponents in the welterweight division before you know it. And bear in mind, this is the guy that went a draw against Darren Till, and I think if he rematched Darren Till, you know, he might make it a ground tactician game, and I think we would see a bit of a different fight for Nicolas Dalby if they ever rematched. But yeah, Nicolas Dalby's always had heart and will, but I think it's just a matter of getting putting the technique together. I think he has technique, but just getting it together, piecing it together in the right way, he'll get a good win. Get some more good wins in the UFC, and definitely look better than he did in his first run. And then, so that wraps up the post-fight of this main card, and then Brock Lesnar and Cain Velasquez news. So it looks like Brock Lesnar is your new WWE champion, and he beat Kofi Kingston in quick, dominating fashion, and he got into a scuffle with Cain Velasquez. So two former UFC heavyweight champs may rematch each other in another sport, in another promotion, in WWE, in professional wrestling. So it's going to be interesting. And me, as you know, Brock Lesnar is the reason why I got into this sport. And Brock vs. Cain, UFC 121 was my first UFC event I ever attended. So this definitely brings back memories of their feud in the UFC. And it'll be interesting to see how it translates into the WWE. So definitely looking forward to that. And I think for now they got a viewer out of me on SmackDown, so it'll be exciting. Brock Lesnar was the WWE champ on SmackDown way back in the early 2000s. And then when he came back, he became a Raw guy and was the WWE Universal Champion. So it's definitely interesting to see him back with the WWE title, and I'm excited for this feud. So yeah, you know, we'll see how this whole feud pans out, but interesting to see Cain Velasquez in WWE as well. Yeah, so that wraps up this episode of Nate's MMA Corner, and stay tuned for my pre-fight show for UFC 243, Whitaker vs. Israel, and so I'll do that in just a moment. Until then, see ya!